block prints that come from Indonesia, and then I join the seam just to get a basic cylinder. I'll trim around a little bit. Get some excess off. And that off. And I'll mark it, score it just a little bit. And score over here. Just a little bit of water. Sometimes if the clay is drier, you can use slip, which is a liquid clay, dry clay mixed with water, but this clay is so wet, I think water is just fine to make a nice join. And try to get it round. Over, clean up the bottom a little bit with a rib.
All right, good. Now you're just going to put this here. Here, I'm going to show you something. You're going to take this tool and you're going to scratch. You're going to scratch it there.
Water, just how's it going? Ready to do your next pull? I'll show you on the whole flat big time. Lots of hotels. So, and then she said we found a nice no.
I don't know if it's Jacksonville or it's like an hour west of Asheville, 140. But I thought that would be like the next big stop. If I could make it 6 hours.
It makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Less than 6 hours too.
It's okay. You're doing great. You're doing great. Look at that. You've already made a book.
These are textured rolling pins, and you can create patterns. I'll show you first. Have you made cookies at home? And sugar cookies where you roll them out? It's pretty much the same thing. Try it. And you can try it with this doggy one.
You have to press pretty hard, right?
Yeah, you might want your mom to help you because it takes, oh, she's got it. Oh, look at that. That's pretty cool. And then I've got all sorts of different cookie cutters, so you can actually cut a design out of it. Oh, you're doing quite good. Yeah, I would press that really hard and then pull away. Then when you're taking this out, you want to just lightly, oh, she did a good job. You want to do another one? Use this piece. Yay!
Or I'll take pictures. Or buttons. Or buttons, yeah, anything. Sometimes just negative space. Sometimes I have found, and this is just how I approach Scorpino, right? But sometimes I have found things
that I could not do by hand.
Right.
So, and it does it so easily. You know, I couldn't do that by hand.
Right.
So, and then also when I'm mixing colors, I don't know if you overheard me telling them about mixing the colors. To mix them, you get 2 colors, cut them into slabs, roll it through the machine,
Right.
fold it in half, run it through, fold it in half, run it through, and you do that like 20 times, and you've blended it into a new color. So here's an example of a jelly roll cane. You know what a jelly roll, like a ho-ho, is like? Every slice that I take off of there is going to be the same.
Okay, great.
And then it's just more complex to do a face. I left this one, I save a slice of every cane I make, so for posterity, I guess.
Right.
So you can see that, you know, the forehead is different from the eyebrows and the eyeshadow and the cheeks. And then when I slice it, I get this nice face. And I can reduce it by rolling it and pulling it and making it smaller and then add hair to it. So that's the same cane.
Okay.
And they can get much, much smaller. I made earrings of this that were about this big. So as long as you're careful when you do it, you can, yeah.
So when you get the kind of general shape you like, you're going to take your pointed stick and you're going to put your finger at the end and press your, just until you hit your finger and then stop. You can see it's just barely poking out. Perfect. And then we'll pull it out and put the hole in from the other side all the way through. And then you can keep it on the stick to do the texture on it, because it keeps the hole from getting squished closed. And you can see we've got all sorts of fun little sticks and bits and bobs to just. Oh, and this one's fun. If you use it this way, you can make skates. And you just repeat it next to each other and then offset it back and forth. I need to make a little sample piece of that. I know what it does, but everybody else is like,
And you just want to move a little bit, but you can feel it. You go ahead and give yourself a little purchase. Yeah, yeah. And then you feel all this up here. Bring it on up, pin it on out. Yes, good, good, good. And your hands are well braced. So the clay moves instead of you. And then we round out the rim a little bit. Okay, let's see you do one more good pull, because that's a good looking bowl. Bring it on out. Yeah, and all the way up. Just remember, keep your fingers the same distance apart and let the clay rise above. Yes, good pull. And that'll be the side.
so just place it.
Yeah, and just lay it against it. Gently, gently. Yeah, come on down. Yeah, good. And then just lean into the wall, and you'll see how your rib shapes the inside of the bowl. Nice. Good. Good job.
A little wonky.
Hey. How many bowls have you made?
One.
It's a darn good bowl. You guys ready to take a picture of her with her bowl? Good. Okay, yeah, and pull real good tension out, down, and just bring it towards you. Quick. Zip. Perfect. Okay. And then...
I know. We'll just like leave the bottom of it.
Oh, believe me, I cut the bottom out of many bowls when I was learning.
Smile like a child.
Okay. And got the little ropey guy that real subtle like rope texture, just all sorts of fun stuff. Yeah, why not? Woo. Have you guys gotten to do much clay in school? No, a little bit. It's a lot of fun. I wish it were in schools a lot more, because otherwise, when do you get to get your hands dirty? Something. That's all that matters. Doing a whole, prospectus on the project. Come on.
I mean, I can get even a smaller knob, a little doorknob right there. And how big, and I challenge myself, how big can I make this little one? Because this is going to be a mug down here. So kind of challenging. How thin can I make this?
So I am centering right now, and one way that you can center is coning, which is bringing the clay up into an actual conal shape, so that the clay is like evenly distributing throughout itself, right? So I bring it up, and I'm going to bring it down, and I'm pretty much making the clay, you know, listen to my movements, right? So it's really paying attention, and the clay remembers what I'm doing to it. So I'm really trying to make it go nice and even. So now I'm just taking another strategy of centering, and I have a right hand on top, left hand on the side for support. So I've got like a support hand on the left and the power hand on top. And then now that's a perfect little disc. Then, when I go into the second step, I'll go ahead and open, and the way I like to open is like butterfly hands, where my thumbs go in the middle, hands on the outside, just kind of resting, supporting. I go down, not all the way, I don't want to make a donut, but you know, I go down, I stop about in half an inch, you know, fourth an inch sometimes, that's okay, but about a half an inch. And then I open it, and I'm compressing the bottom as I'm opening too. That just helps the bottom of the pot be stable and flat and nice. And I can compress with my fingers, or I could use a tool, but I'll use my fingers. And then once I get it open, I'll usually stop when it's about the width of the profile here. Then I'll start pulling the walls up, which is the speed of the wheel too. So not too slow, not too fast. Just trying to match that speed of the wheel, and I come up and off the top. So there's one pull. And then if I go in, I do another one. I always start at the bottom. I'll just push, push, push with my outside right hand, working against that centrifugal force. That helps it stand up straight.
I make a little trinket bowl, and so this part is already baked, and I'm adding the bottom to it. I'm using a contrasting color, and I'm putting some texture on it, which also kind of presses it in real well to adhere it. And then I will take my blade and slice off the excess. And then when I get back to the studio, I'll start adding a rim to it and some little feet to make it a completed little bowl. So, isn't that cool? Yeah. Okay.
These are wild. I like your ash glaze.
Working on. I bring them in a box like that, and occasionally make the babies. They go with them. It's just whatever I'm putting. It's not going to match out like it should be anatomically with a certain number of eyes to mouths to whatever. It's going to be what balances and looks right to me. I get to play for a living, and then when I do the face jugs, I can use broken china to make the teeth in them. And the ones I did earlier this week, I used the colored pieces. So you can put different colors teeth in it, and they get really colorful mouths.